Welcome to Once Upon a Castle, unlocking the magic of Disney, past and present. I'm Gini, your guide through the parks and the pages of Disney's rich history. Each week, we will share expert tips to help you plan your perfect visit and explore the stories, secrets, and legends that make the magic real. From Walt's vision to today's hidden gems, we will help you feel more connected, more prepared, and more enchanted every step of the way. So, whether you're counting down the days to your next trip or just dreaming of a stroll down Main Street, USA, this is your place to discover the wonder. This is Once Upon a Castle. Welcome back to Once Upon a Castle podcast, the show where we take a stroll down the avenues, attractions, and stories that make Disneyland more than just a park. It's a living, breathing piece of American imagination. This episode is part 3 of our 4-part series all about Main Street, USA. In our first episode, we explored the attractions from the vintage vehicles to the cinema and the great moments with Mr. Lincoln. Then in part 2, we dove into the entertainment that gives Main Street its heartbeat, the music, laughter, and performances that bring it to life. Today, we are turning our attention to something else that keeps guests smiling from the moment they step on the curb, the food. That's right, we're taking a delicious stroll down Main Street, exploring the restaurants, snack stands, and sweet treats that make this corner of Disneyland truly irresistible. We'll chat about their history, significance, and even some of my personal favorites. Before we jump in, I want to give a huge thank you to all of you who've left reviews. Your support and feedback mean the absolute world to me. It's like the virtual version of grabbing a churro and a coffee with a friend. And if you haven't left a review yet, well, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and leave one. I'll read one next week during our grand finale episode. Now, for this week's review. From listener 2_70. This show is a lot of fun to listen to, not only for entertainment, but for learning tidbits and little-known facts about the most wonderful place on Earth. Okay, let's be real here. 270 is my husband. So thank you, babe, for the amazing and kind review. He has just been such an encourager and supporter of me doing the podcast. When I told him a while back, well, a long time ago, that I wanted to do a Disneyland-inspired podcast, he was like, absolutely, yes, go for it. And then a couple of months ago when I brought up like really wanting to get this started, he was 100% on board. Like, what do we need to do? What do we need to get you? How do we set this up? What do you need to learn? He's just been really awesome and encouraging. He listens to every episode, and I'm just so thankful for his support. And those were just such kind words from my little boo-boo. So thanks, babe. Also, let me give a shameless plug. Usually I like to plug a Disney podcast, but today I'm going to plug something a little different, and I'm going to volley it back to my wonderful husband. If you are somebody that is into Minecraft, he is a YouTuber, and he is on YouTube as 2TWO70, and he has some amazing content and doing cool Minecrafty things. So if you are a Minecraft lover or if you know one, definitely recommend checking him out. I'll put some links in the show notes to make it easy for you to follow along. But thank you, my love, for your wonderful review. And if you are enjoying the show so far, I'd love your help spreading the magic like my hubby did. So please consider leaving a 5-star rating and writing a quick review. Tell me what you like best, how I can keep getting better, and what you'd love to know more about. Maybe a favorite land or a must-see attraction you want a deep dive on. Your feedback truly shapes the episodes ahead. You can also reach me by email at magic@onceuponacastlepodcast.com. Now, last week, I asked for your feedback on Instagram and TikTok on what your best tips and tricks for enjoying the parades and fireworks are, and I want to share some of the feedback I got. If you are new to planning a trip to Disneyland, you might find these helpful, And if you are a veteran Disney visitor, you might hear something new to try. From Disney Plant Life, they love doing the parades, and they say that do the last showing and watch it at It's a Small World for no crowds and choice seating. I have done that before, and they are spot on. That's a great place to go back and watch the parades, and also it's a great place to watch the fireworks, especially if they're doing the projections onto Small World. It's a very little known, like not a lot of people go back there. So that's a great suggestion, Disney Plant Life. From Anna Ariel, watching the fireworks from Main Street is my favorite place. Love the projections on the buildings, and it's the perfect view of the castle. Thanks, Anna. We had Anna on in one of our very first episodes, and she's always given the great tips for enjoying a good day at the park. Travel by Susan said, get there early and get a great view. And I asked her specifically, how early would you say and recommend for people to go? And she said, honestly, it depends on crowds and if there are 2 times 4 parades and how many people are already saving spots. Most people say 30 to 60 minutes. I would agree with Travel by Susan. That was kind of my recommendation from last week too. So thank you so much to all of you that responded and gave your tips and tricks. I really appreciate it. All right, friends, let's get started. Today, we're exploring the flavors of Main Street, USA, from classic snacks that have delighted generations to the sit-down spots that feel like stepping into a storybook. We'll uncover the history behind each location, why they're so beloved by guests and cast members alike, and how Walt's original vision of small-town America comes alive, not just in the architecture or music, but in the food and the shared experiences around it. So grab a snack, maybe a churro, or a little something from the candy shop, and join me as we take a delicious stroll down Main Street, USA. So I really have to be honest, going into this episode, I didn't really know if there was going to be much of a historical aspect to play on. I kind of thought, okay, well, I can walk people down Main Street, share with them what locations have food, what types of food that they have, and that'll just be a quick little episode, but also really important, especially for people who are planning one of their first trips to Disneyland. But, and I should have known better, there is so much rich history around the food locations at Disneyland because, like everything else, these locations were created with so much intentionality in order to bring the story of Main Street to life and make it a truly immersive experience. So before we start to journey down Main Street and take a look at what dining options are available, let's go over just a few kind of vocabulary words so that we can really understand our options. So there are really 4 different types of food options, like food service options at Disneyland. First, there's the quick service. These are things that it's kind of in the name. It's a quick service. Like if you were to show up to Taco Bell, right? You walk up to a counter, you put your order in. It's maybe just a couple of minutes. You grab your order and go. Sometimes there's seating outside of quick service areas, but it's not really intended for a nice sit down. You're not going to get served by a waiter or checked in on or anything like that. You're just going to grab your food and move along. In addition to that, there are sit-down locations. So this would be more of that formal dining restaurant experience. You're going to have service waiters come and take care of you. You're going to be able to spend a little bit more time sitting down, relaxing, enjoying the ambiance, having some good conversation. Then we have food carts. So food carts are kind of, in my mind, that like carnival style. You walk up to a little food truck or a churro cart and you order your food. It's usually already ready to go. They just hand it to you and off you go. And most things at food carts, you don't need to eat sitting down. They are meant to just hold and walk about. And then there's also mobile order. Now, not every location in Disneyland offers mobile order. As we go through our Main Street dining options, I will tell you which ones do include mobile order. But mobile order is really where you can order ahead through the Disneyland app. So you can kind of pick a place, see what their menu options are. You can pick a time in the future or one time that's kind of closer to you. You make that order and then you show up at your designated time, grab your food, and either find a spot to sit or move along. So those are our 4 options when it comes to dining services. First up, when you first enter Disneyland, right there on Main Street, you are going to see the churro cart. And boy, howdy, is that such a nice thing to be welcomed to. So the churro cart is actually a food cart location. It does not have mobile order. But let's get into the history of the churro cart. I truly did not expect there to be any history. I thought it would be something like, oh yeah, well, churros are good, so we put a cart. And there you go. But y'all, this was some cool stuff that I learned in my research. So in 1985, the food and beverage lead for Disneyland's Fantasyland, Jim Lohman, was tasked with bringing in a new snack for the upcoming Videopolis teen hangout space. So back in that 1985 time period, some of you might remember there was a place called Videopolis, and it truly was a place where they had music and dancing. It was kind of like this, PG club rated place. It was intended for like teenagers and preteens. It's supposed to be like this cool, hip place for the kids to go hang out. So they needed to come up with a great snack option to put there in Videopolis. So at the Long Beach Grand Prix that year, Lohman saw a churro booth operated by J&J Snack Foods. And he was like, yes, this is what we need. It was super popular there at the Long Beach Grand Prix. He saw how many people were flocking to it and enjoying it. He had some himself and he said, yeah, let's go. But rather than using the 6-inch standard version, Lohman said, we got to up the ante on this, make it more substantial and more special because it's Disneyland, right? So they made it. That's where the 12-inch churro came from. So he took that idea from the Long Beach Grand Prix and essentially he did what Disney does and he plussed it. So before full rollout, they actually tested the cart by setting up a cart there at the exit of the Mark Twain Riverboat in Frontierland before they rolled it out into Videopolis. And as the cart was literally rolled into position over there by the Mark Twain Riverboat for its first day, guests were following it. They trailed after it, drawn in by that delicious scent. So sales were crazy high and the test succeeded. So they said, all right, we're putting 2 of these bad boys over in Videopolis. So over time, the churro has become associated with Disneyland. Of course, when you think Disneyland, you think churro. When you think of walking through the park, the smell of cinnamon coming from a cart hovering near the hub or by Big Thunder Mountain, it just really brings more of that park experience to life. So of course it makes sense that first thing when you enter into Disneyland right there on Main Street at the town center, boom, churro cart. Best way to start your day is with that delicious smell right in your face. They're popular because they're flexible. You can transport them easily. There's different toppings that you can put on them. There are all kinds of seasonal offerings. You can get just the good old-fashioned standard churro, but nowadays there are so many different types. Every holiday season or special event, they're going to have some kind of specialty churro, many of them that you can go and check out. My personal favorite is the Fluffernutter churro. That's usually sold there at DCA, but boy howdy, oh, it's so good. And I have definitely enjoyed many different types of churros. If you like churros or you just want to have some fun and try some different things, I highly recommend going and checking out a churro. Churros really show how food can be leveraged for guest experience, not just sustenance. The smell, the freshness, the visual appeal, and the placement all combine to make the churro more than just a... Next up on our journey down Main Street is we have Market House, and Market House is considered a quick service. It's technically a Starbucks. Its original theme was that turn-of-the-century general store market on Main Street. They were selling kitchen goods, pickles in barrels, candies, and coffee-themed merchandise. This location used to be the Swift Market House where they sold meats, cheeses, and typical deli counter items. We talked about that back in episode 1 of our Main Street series attractions. Inside the store, one of the thematic elements was a real cast iron pot-belly stove, and that was brought in from Baltimore, Maryland, which supported that old-timey atmosphere. Another quirky detail is the party line telephones on the walls that guests could pick up, and they can hear like amusing, funny little pre-recorded conversations. There's also a little checkered board over in the corner for guests to play. And these items are just really reinforcing that the space was more than a mere retail spot, but it provided interactive charm. They still have held true. In 2013 is when it became a Starbucks. So the Market House is such a good example of how Disney Imagineering used tradition and detail to evoke the turn of the century Americana along Main Street. So rather than just a shop, it was themed to feel like a genuine old-time market. And even after the Starbucks conversion, the interior design intentionally preserved and integrated many of those older elements, so the retail food space still continues to be that Main Street story. So you're still going to find the potbelly cast iron stove, you're going to still find the party line, you're going to still find the checkerboard, all still there bringing the story of Main Street to life, even while you're getting yourself a little Starbies. So the transformation in 2013 is really a case study of how Disneyland adapts historic locations for modern needs. Higher guest volumes, coffee culture expectations, food service logistics, yet attempts to keep thematic coherence. It shows the balance between maintaining heritage and staying commercially viable. So stop into the Market House if you need to get yourself either your morning coffee or, as I like to do, a good 10 p.m. coffee, because baby, we're going till park closing. One of the next places on Main Street is actually one of my favorite spots to eat. It is the Carnation Cafe. So this is a sit-down location. It's an opening day attraction, same day as Disneyland. Originally, the spot was the Carnation Ice Cream Parlor. It was sponsored by the Carnation Company. It served ice cream, soda fountain style treats in this turn of the century Main Street setting. So the interior features Victorian style detailing, the ornate woodwork, arches, counter stools, and an old style ice cream parlor feel. Now, in January 1997, the ice cream parlor closed, and later in March, the space reopened as the Carnation Cafe, transitioning from a primarily ice cream and snack concept to a full table service dining. And the menu and decor really nod to that classic American comfort food, tying in nostalgia, friendliness, and warmth. So Walt himself actually used to eat breakfast almost every morning at the Carnation Cafe patio. It was then still the Carnation Ice Cream Parlor. But his usual order was soft-boiled eggs, toast, and a coffee. Now, cast members reportedly cleared a special table for him every day at 8 a.m., even when he was out of town. And this was like a quiet superstition that persisted for years after his death. I just love that. And the Carnation Cafe is definitely a place where I feel super connected to Walt. I feel super connected to Main Street. The Carnation Cafe is a great place to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, but also note it's a great place to watch the parade from. So if you kind of time out your dining experiences and ask for a patio table, you could be enjoying your meal while watching the parade go by. Now, here are some menu options. So for breakfast, they have the good old traditional Mickey waffles, They have the most delicious breakfast skillets. Oh my gosh. I really love starting my day at Carnation Cafe with like a good, hearty, protein dense breakfast skillet because I know the reality is it's probably not going to get a ton of protein the rest of the day. And that's certainly something I need. So they have, oh, their breakfast skillets are so good. They have cold brew floats, omelets, pancakes, yogurt parfaits, all kinds of breakfast goodies. Then for lunch, they have salads. They offer Walt's famous chili. They do a club sandwich, fried chicken, burgers. They have pie and floats. The other cool thing about Carnation Cafe is they also have vegan options. And if you are feeling a little spicy, they offer wine and cocktails. So that just sounds like a lovely way to maybe spend an evening. Go get dinner at the Carnation Cafe, grab a little wine, and watch a parade go by. The cafe exemplifies how Disney uses immersive theming in even everyday venues. Next up on our journey, after we've had a nice hearty meal at the Carnation Cafe, we could stop by Gibson Girl Ice Cream. So Gibson Girl Ice Cream is a quick service location and they also have mobile order available. The Gibson Girl Ice Cream Parlor opened in 1997 on Main Street. The location it occupies was formerly the site of another business. Notably, it replaced the space of the Blue Ribbon Bakery. The name Gibson Girl were the famous illustration by artist Charles Dana Gibson. The Gibson Girl, turn of the century America, symbolizing an independent, stylish woman of the era. The Gibson Girl was an illustrated ideal of the American woman, poised, confident, fashionable, athletic, intelligence. She embodied a new kind of femininity, independent and strong, yet elegant and graceful. Unlike earlier depictions of women as frail or domestic, Gibson's women were assertive and socially active, the modern woman of the early 20th century. That's why the Gibson Girl Ice Cream Parlor at Disneyland borrows her name and imagery. It fits perfectly into the turn of the century Americana that Main Street celebrates, an era when the Gibson Girl was the face of aspiration and charm. Now, the interior is styled to evoke a classic soda fountain ice cream parlor from the early 1900s. It's so fun in there. It's got the checkered floor, it's got rich wood, wrought iron style sweetheart chairs, ornate back bar. Just such a fun place. Even if you're not in the mood for ice cream, I highly recommend you at least pop in and just soak it all in. So if you are in the mood for a little sweet treat, you could get things like sundaes, floats, the waffle cones and the waffle cups, hand-dipped scoops, and a variety of toppings and specialty items. They also tend to offer like seasonal items, so around special holidays, be sure to check out what some fun things they have on their menu. Now, Gibson Girl Ice Cream serves as a nostalgic anchor to Main Street, USA. By evoking the turn-of-the-century soda fountain, it strengthens the immersive theming of that land. If ice cream wasn't enough to quench your sweet tooth, never fear, Candy Palace is right next door. Candy Palace is a quick service location and they have mobile order available. The Candy Palace opened on July 22nd, 1955, so just days after Disneyland's grand opening. From its early days, one of the signature features was a glass window candy kitchen where guests could observe candy making in action. This is so fun to watch, although it feels sometimes a little creepy, like you're standing there watching these people do this, like it's reverse, zoo vibes. But anyways, it's really fun to do. The open kitchen aspect is especially influential. It turns the shop from mere retail into part of the show experience. So guests don't just buy candy, they watch it being made. They smell it in the air. They see the craft that aligns with the show ethos of Disney parks. So again, not just a place to go get some grub, but this is another entertainment, another experiential offering there at Disneyland. Now, there are about 63 different candy treats that are made there year round in the candy kitchen there at Candy Palace. Now, here's something really cool. And if you're walking by and you're wondering, gosh, this smells so good. Why do I want to go in there? Why am I suddenly craving all of these sweet treats? Well, there are visible vents near the sidewalk that carry the smell of freshly made candy out onto the street to attract guests in to go enjoy some candy. So it's not just your brain playing tricks on you. It is Disney intentionality making things work. So there on their menu, some popular items are the churro toffee. That stuff is so good. They have caramel apples. I'm not a huge fan of caramel apples, but boy howdy, these caramel apples are so adorable. I've never actually eaten one before, and it's just not my jam, but I'm always tempted to just buy a bunch of them because they're so darn cute. I love going in and at least looking and seeing what they have. They have different types of cookies, Rice Krispie treats, marshmallow wands, fudge. Anything your little sweet tooth could imagine or desire is right there in the Candy Palace. So the Candy Palace has become something of a sensory anchor on Main Street. The sight of the candy displays, the smell of caramel and fudge, crowds gathered around all contribute to the overall immersion of the land. It helps deliver the small town, turn of the century America theme in a concrete way. While rides and attractions dominate, shops like Candy Palace provide texture and depth, making Main Street feel alive rather than just a pathway. All right, my friends, I think we've had maybe enough sweets. Let's get something a little bit more hearty and let's head on over to Refreshment Corner. So Refreshment Corner is another quick service location and mobile ordering is available. The Refreshment Corner opened with Disneyland on July 17th, 1955. The thematic concept is aligned with Main Street's small-town American turn-of-the-century aesthetic. The building exterior and outdoor seating evoke the classic soda fountain, refreshment stand from the early 1900s. Historically, the refreshment stand has been sponsored by Coca-Cola. It was Coca-Cola Refreshment Corner, underscoring the corporate sponsorship tradition in Disney's early years. One thing we haven't talked too much about, a little bit, but not too much, but a lot of the retail stores and like restaurants in the very early years were all based upon sponsorships. It's one way that Disney was able to kind of bring in some money to pay for Disneyland. And Walt was really great about finding sponsorships. And Refreshment Corner is just another example of that in their connection with Coca-Cola. The unique feature is that there at times is live ragtime piano music and sometimes character interactions take place there on the patio of Refreshment Corner. This enhances the ambiance and makes Refreshment Corner simply more than just a food stop. It's a great place to watch parades. They occasionally host the Dapper Dans. Now let's jump into some menu items. So the menu centers on American comfort and like snack fare. So they've got all beef hot dogs with variations like chili cheese, mac and cheese toppings. They have such delicious bread bowls with chili or mac and cheese. They have the soft pretzels, including the specialty filled ones. They have the fountain drinks, of course, and seasonal limited time items. They'll bring that in for like holidays or special events. They also have those like Coke slushies. Like you can go in and an icy Coke, I think is what they're called. Anyways, they have different flavors. You can mix and match and kind of like make your own little sweet treat there. In a land designed to evoke nostalgia for small town America at the turn of the 20th century, Refreshment Corner functions not just as a dining spot. Let's keep journeying on down Main Street and let's pop into the Jolly Holiday Bakery Cafe. Jolly Holiday Bakery Cafe is a quick service location and they do offer mobile ordering. Now, the name and theming draw inspiration from the film Mary Poppins and the Jolly Holiday sequence, with decorative nods such as the stained glass penguins in the windows, silhouetted art of the children from the film, and the classic Victorian Edwardian era design on Main Street. The interior and exterior carried turn of the century Main Street USA stylings, wood paneled cases, wrought iron detailing, outdoor tables with a view of the hub and the castle. It's just such a great place to obviously get some really yummy food, but to sit and rest and relax. It is an amazing place too to grab a spot, grab some food, and enjoy either a parade or especially the fireworks. Now, some menu options. This place has my personal favorite food at Disneyland. I get it every time. Sometimes I get it multiple times in one day. I cannot go without it. It's the Raspberry Rose Mickey Macaroon. Oh, to die for. And I am not a macaroon lover, like at all. But this macaroon, it's got a raspberry rose macaroon, the cookie, and then it's filled with this raspberry rose, like frosting, icing, macaroon filling. I don't know what it is, but then it also has fresh raspberries. And let me tell you, it is just decadent. It's refreshing, it's light, and it is not meant for sharing. I'm not sharing it. You got to get your own. They also have the very famous Matterhorn macaroon. They have cookies, cupcakes, tarts, specialty treats, all kinds of bakery goodies there. Now, they also serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So for breakfast, you can get things like their breakfast sandwiches, which is really good. They're big and hearty. They also have yogurt parfaits. And then for lunch and dinner, you can get things like soup. They have grilled cheese sandwiches. They're super well known for especially those two items. They also serve lattes and other espresso beverages, fountain drinks, teas, normal kind of stuff. But I've actually started going and doing a mobile order at Jolly Holiday first thing in the morning. Usually the Market House Starbucks is really packed first thing in the morning. So now that Jolly Holiday has started offering lattes, I like to, on my walk over to Disneyland, I like to put in a mobile order to grab a latte from the Jolly Holiday once the park opens. I'm just walking down Main Street anyway, going where I need to go. Might as well swoop in and grab my latte. So that's a great place to go and check out any time of the day. Right across from the Jolly Holiday, we have the Plaza Inn. And the Plaza Inn is actually a sit-down experience. It's more of that like cafeteria style buffet. You will have a server come and clean up your table, but everything else is self-serving in like that cafeteria style way. Now, the building originally opened on, you guessed it, July 17th, 1955, and it actually opened, though, under a different name, and it was the Red Wagon Inn. And as one of Walt Disney's favorite places to dine in the park, the Plaza Inn holds historic gravity. So early on, Walt and Lillian Disney used the restaurant to entertain VIP guests. It included a VIP lounge, a wet bar, and a private bathroom. The Red Wagon Inn was sponsored by the Swift Premium Meats Company and offered that buffeteria style service and higher end decor for a theme park food outlet. So, a little bit more bougie. On July 18th, 1965, the Red Wagon Inn was reimagined and officially became Plaza Inn. And over the years, the location has undergone refurbishments, notably around 1999, to refresh the decor and adapt service styles while retaining its Victorian era theme. Many of its interior decor elements are authentic antiques. For example, the stained glass ceiling, gingerbread woodworking, and marble foyer, were salvaged from a Victorian mansion in Los Angeles, St. James Park area, and incorporated into the restaurant itself. Now, the designer and curator of the Red Wagon Inn, or now Plaza Inn, was Lillian Disney, which was Walt Disney's wife. And she selected many of the furnishings and interior details. So it was like her pizzazz that really brought the place to life. This is a great place to view for parades and fireworks. Now, just know you do have to go in and buy a meal, and you need to be eating there. You can't just go and sit down on the patio and watch the parade or fireworks, but it's a great way to plan out your day and think, how can I get a good, hearty something to eat while enjoying some amazing entertainment? So definitely consider the Plaza Inn for that. Now, some of their menu items. Plaza Inn is best known for its specialty fried chicken. And this is 3 pieces of herb-seasoned chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy, buttermilk biscuit, and vegetables. This has become an iconic dish for visitors. I have yet to try this. I tried a couple trips ago and it just didn't happen. And every time I want this so bad because people just rave about how delicious the fried chicken is. Some other menu items are their pot roast, they have pasta dishes, salads, and during breakfast is their popular Minnie and Friends character dining buffet. So Plaza Inn is a great place. It offers some specialty dining offerings. Be aware that reservations are needed for these. So one thing that they offer is character dining packages. Right now they have Minnie and Friends. So this is a time where you can come in, you get to meet Minnie and a ton of other characters. While you're sitting around eating breakfast, the characters will come up to your table, they'll talk with you, photos. It is so fun. We did this on my bachelorette trip. I had never actually done a character dining before, and we thought, you know what? We're going to spoil ourselves. We're going to be princesses for the day. And we went and did it. And it was, for one, amazing food. We were stuffed. Oh, so good. But we just had the best time and met so many characters. It was a great time. I'm going to post some pictures over on the Patreon so you can kind of see who you get to meet and what the experience would be like. The other specialty dining offering that they have are entertainment dining packages. So right now they have the Paint the Night Parade package. And we did this back in July. So we bought the package and then we went in around, I think it was around lunchtime. And we had their meatloaf, mashed potatoes. It was a really yummy meal. And then later when Paint the Night came around, we had some reserved seating. Those packages can be a little pricey, but you get a wonderful meal and you get excellent reserved seating for your nighttime entertainment. And this one in particular was the Paint the Night package. So some really awesome offerings that you could be considering just to make your trip that much more special. The Plaza Inn contributes to the sense of place on Main Street. A richly detailed dining venue helps the land feel more than just a corridor or ride path. It's a lived, layered environment. Now, last but certainly not least on our list is the Little Red Wagon Corn Dog Cart. Now, this is a food cart location, and they do have mobile order available. The name Little Red Wagon pays homage to the Red Wagon Inn, which we just learned is now the Plaza Inn. The corn dog cart opened in 1986 as part of the State Fair promotion, which aimed to boost attendance during a period of decline. It was inspired by classic American county fairs. The promotion featured carnival games, farm animal exhibits, and fair-styled food. The park was transformed during this period with elements like the Ferris wheel. They had midway games and displays that highlighted California agriculture. So due to its success, the Little Red Wagon became a permanent fixture there on Main Street. And honestly, it remains one of Disneyland's most iconic spots. So while I'm over here scarfing down multiple Raspberry Rose Mickey macaroons, my son can put down numerous corn dogs in one day. They are that good. The cart features a vintage circus-style aesthetic, complete with red and blue colors and a retro sign aligning with Disneyland's nostalgic charm. So some menu items is they have the classic hand-dipped corn dog. They have, on occasion, the chili cheese corn dog and several dipping sauces. So you can actually sometimes get some specialty sauces like the spicy Asian style dipping sauce there. The cart's enduring popularity underscores the timeless appeal of simple, well-executed comfort food in a magical setting. Wow, what a tasty stroll down Main Street today. Y'all, I am so hungry now. From the sweet treats to the sit-down spots, I hope you're feeling inspired to grab a churro or maybe even plan your next Disneyland snack adventure. Next week, I am so excited to welcome a very special guest. We will have Steph Sanchez, the host of Magic Key Adventures podcast. And she will be coming and sharing her love for Main Street and some of her best tips for a happy and successful trip. You definitely won't want to miss it. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey through the magic of Disney, past and present. If you want to keep wandering with me, come over to our community on Patreon. It's completely free to join, and it's where I share behind-the-scenes notes, photos, and bonus thoughts from each episode. I'm excited to post some of these historic photos I found in my study of Main Street over the last few weeks. So definitely go over to Patreon and check them out. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow, rate, and leave a review like my honey did. It truly helps more Disney dreamers find their way to the castle. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Once Upon a Castle Podcast, on TikTok at Virginia K West, or on Patreon at Once Upon a Castle for extra tips, behind the scenes stories, and of course, all things Disney. Now, I'm sure you are like me and have worked up quite the appetite. So leave me a comment in the reviews section or go to Patreon, TikTok, or Instagram and let me know, what are you craving from Main Street? I know right now I could go for a grilled cheese and a raspberry rose Mickey macaroon from the Jolly Holiday. Until next time, keep the magic alive, keep the memories close, and as always, I'm wishing you a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Bye-bye.